you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches. Well, recently I've been wearing some of my slightly older watches in my collection, and as I've been wearing them, I've noticed at night time that the lume doesn't last quite as well as my modern day watches, which is pretty much understandable and expected. But what I thought it might be interesting to do is actually put a few of my watches side by side and test the lume throughout an extended period of time. And I wanted to do that over a bit of a range of years of watches. Now, I am going to be using watches from my collection, so unfortunately I don't have a nice standard amount of time between each. But what I'm going to put together today is my Seiko Samurai, which is about a year old. I've got my Seiko SKX 009, which is about 6 or 7 years old. I've got a dive watch from ADAC, which was made by SEESTERN, which was given to me in 1994, and I've got my father's Seiko Pogue from 1976. So I've got a fairly big range over the years of watches that came with lume at the time, and I'm quite interested to put them now side by side, hit them and charge them with a lot of UV light and just test it to see how long that lume now lasts. Now, we are kind of knowing what the results are going to be. We know that older watches, generally the lume does start to deteriorate, so that's what we are expecting. And we are obviously then expecting the Samurai, which is virtually new, to be the best out of the bunch. But I still thought it might be quite interesting just to see how long they do last. So let's flip the camera around now. Let's put these 4 watches side by side. We'll put some power and charge into those watches, and then we'll speed up the time and just see how long and how well some of the older watches in my collection last when it comes to lume. Let's check it out. So here we have my 4 watches side by side. As you can see, from the left through to the right, we have my Seiko Samurai, we have my Seiko SKX 009, we have my ADAC watch from the mid-90s, and my father's Seiko Pogue on the far right there. I'm going to stick some more charge in there with this UV torch. And as I switch the lights out, what I want you to do is keep your eyes on the far right on that Seiko Pogue. I am going to keep this in real time, and as I turn that light off, you'll see there is an initial bright glow of lume, and then it disappears almost immediately. This is in real time, so that lasted only for a second or maybe half a second there. And yep, so that's gone. So there you go, a watch for 40 plus years old, it does not last very long. And in the real world, if you're trying to charge it and see it at night, you just don't see it at all. It really was that sort of initial input of that UV torch that let it even have that initial glow. But let's speed up the time now and let's sort of see what happens next. But as we can see, yes, the 30-year-old watch, it dies out fairly quickly as well. And that is really to be expected. But the 2 other Seikos, the 5-6-year-old Seiko and the fairly new Seiko, are both doing very well. And to be honest, that's sort of what I expected as well. But let's speed the time up again now, and let's see how long it takes for the next one to go out, and let's see if that SKX can actually keep up with the Samurai. And the SKX certainly has lost a little bit of its ability to hold lume. However, the video doesn't really quite capture the real life lume of these guys. They do last quite considerably longer than what it is represented on this video. But then as you can see, the Samurai is going to be the clear winner. Absolutely. Well, it's pretty much as expected, but it was still a very interesting experiment to do and really interesting to see how the lume is lasting on these watches. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do hope to see you in the next video.